Thanks very much, Colin. Yes, well, we're here at Gibbs in Johannesburg, where we've been having discussions on sustainability in the mining sector. And I'm joined by two gentlemen who are very familiar with the mining sector. Stephen Meintjes, he's from Imara SP Reed, and Happy Nkhoma, he's from Lonmin. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Let me just get straight into it. The insert that we've just looked at helped us to see that from the community's point of view, they feel that the big mining houses have come and extracted, made their billions, but they haven't really benefited. Surely we can't go on as normal. It can't be business as usual. Your response, Stephen?
Well, I quite agree. I think that one approach that can be explored is taxation. We have had in the gold mines industry for many years a formula tax. Certainly up until 2008, it's been watered down since then. But according to that formula, the richer mines pay a higher rate of tax. If the margins are over 50%, they could pay 40% company tax. And if they're below 10%, no company tax. The beauty of that system is that it makes life a lot easier for marginal mines. And at the same time, it takes the wind out of the sails of people demanding nationalization, because you're getting such a high level of tax from the richer mines. And also it copes for booms and busts. In booms, the companies naturally pay a higher rate of tax, and vice versa. In recessions, the demands for subsidizing marginal mines are less because the tax rate automatically goes to zero. So that would be a very helpful innovation, to roll out the old gold mines formula tax into the rest of the mining industry.
Happy, what's your response?
It's, well, I mean, you look at the very gold sector itself, you look at the areas where the gold mines have been, despite that wonderful tax, have we really seen any better housing? Have we seen, instead, we're seeing ghost towns. So it's not so much about how companies are taxed, it's about what do companies do with the money that is allocated. I think if you look at the issue of the SLPs that was introduced, the social and labor plans, they were meant to address just that. So it's not about collecting the tax, it's not about getting the money, it's about making sure that the money goes where it's supposed to do. And that is something that we are doing, for instance, in terms of, you're talking about living conditions that the miners are complaining about. As Lonmin, for instance, we've gone into partnership with the Northwest government to make sure we roll out affordable housing for the communities around us and for our workers as well. So we have factored that into our SLPs, but we've gone beyond our SLPs into our social investment. We've incorporated housing as part of it. Remember, there's also the issue of housing allowances, which is supposed to alleviate the cost of actually finding reasonable accommodation for the worker. And I mean, that allowance is at about 2,000 Rand right now. It was part of the negotiation that we've just come out of. So it is not just the issue of the tax, whether you're allowed to pay a tax or you minimize the tax. The question is, you rather police what the companies are doing as part of actually their investment in the communities. And that's really what has been lacking in the mining industry. And we need to do more of that.
Now, talking of policing, we know that the Minister of Mineral Resources will be telling us maybe in a few months' time as to whether the mining houses have been complying with the mining charter. How do you think mining houses will fare, Stephen?
Well, there certainly will have been progress. I'm sure there's going to be some that don't quite make the grade. We have a new minister, and he may show signs of pragmatism and leniency. Let's hope that is the case.
Okay. And Happy, the Department of Mineral Resources is obviously has told President Zuma that he must just shelve the mineral resources bill. What are you hoping that once amendments are made, hopefully, what are you hoping will come out of that?
Well, there are a number of factors, and it wouldn't be fair to actually discuss them right here openly. But I think what we're hoping to see is, as Meintjes has said, a bit of leniency on our side in terms of let's not push the issue of law, but let's actually follow up on the plans that companies commit to. Because there's also various factors that differ from company to company, from sector to sector. You take platinum, for instance. Whilst you look at the tax regime, we talk about an annual year of production, but you see a lot of latency in platinum. I mean, we've just had a 6 months strike. You look at the price of platinum; it's gone down instead of going up. That will affect us for the next 3 years. So you've got to look at in the next 3 years. In other words, it will be difficult for us to have enough profits to actually have money to plow back. So planning with us will work better. So we hope to see more cooperation with the department. We hope to see more partnerships between department, labor, and ourselves. And I think that is actually what we'd like to see coming out of that act.
Stephen, I'll get you to touch on that in just a moment, but I want to stick with the issue of sustainability. The 5-month strike in the platinum belt, miners are happy that they got their wage increases. That's what they were saying in the insert, but they're not happy with their living environment. From your perspective, your big picture analysis, what is the impact that strike had on the sector for jobs going forward and anything else?
Well, it's obviously not positive, but it certainly did highlight the fact that the real demand for platinum was probably a lot weaker than people realized. And therefore, we as a country, as a nation, all stakeholders need to proceed with caution. And on the issue of sustainability, I think Happy's quite right. Those mines, talking about the industry as a whole, that escaped the worst labor unrest were mostly those, almost exclusively those, where the mine labor was housed, properly housed in the main. Coming back to sustainability, we're talking about preserving the life of mines, and their tax, that's where the tax can really bite. As Happy's just said, the mines' profits have been impacted by the low price, let alone the strike. And so it is some of the mines are indeed marginal. So this could still be a factor.
Stephen, let me stop you right there. We're just going to go for a quick commercial break. Do stay with us and join us after this.